right, there's no more smoke or chaos. The season's over. This is Matches Mayhem. We got your boy, the Duel Master, Victor. No move.
Nope, that finale is done, you know?
Finale's no more moves.
The fight's over. Yeah, fight's over.
The fight's over. And you got me, the double agent. My cover is blown. So... Man, we're limping to the finish here a little bit on Matches of Mayhem, like the challenge did. The reunion's always good fun. What you think about this one?
First half, I was a little iffy on it, but it picked up second half. There was a lot going on in the second half. A lot of stuff we didn't know, a lot of things we got to see, a little drama, controversy. So, yeah.
So, what was the juiciest thing that came out of the reunion? What's like the thing that either you were hoping they would cover or you didn't even see coming? You're like, whoa, what's that about?
What I didn't see coming was the Tori snap at Jordan. I didn't see that coming because they were so, she's always so up his ass most of the time and always, craving his attention. So when she snapped at him and Jordan saying like, you kind of did this to yourself, I was like, oh.
Yeah, let's break that down because I thought, man... That's why this fucking, no offense to Maria Menounos or whatever, she was looking good. She's a good host. But this is where you need like an investigative reporter to like dig a little bit more. These are ex-fiancés who you could see like Tori was way too comfortable and snapping at him. Mm-hmm. And he fell right in line. Like we needed somebody to dig. This is where we need... what's her face from Love is Blind, because she would dig into the dirt for this one. Nessa Lachey. Yeah. So all right. So Johnny is making a comment to Tori saying once she started sticking up for Devin's beef, we said we said the same thing on the pod.
Yeah.
She inserted herself in that beef. And it made her road to the final that much harder. Whereas if she would have let it go, she probably would have cakewalked. And her and Johnny's feud took up a lot of her headspace. She wasn't trying to hear it, but Jordan was like, he has a point. You made it harder on yourself by feuding with Johnny. And she says, what'd she say? Yeah.
Afterwards, she was like, damn, what did she say? I said it right. I said it earlier.
She looks at him and was like, shut up. I protected you like three times or something like that from going in. And we were like, I was just like, really? What was that?
I think she's mad at herself because her and Michelle both kind of did the same exact thing where they were friends with Johnny before, then the Johnny Devin thing happened and then they kind of just made it worse and then they kind of put themselves on opposition against Johnny and then, that, like I said, it took up headspace. You could tell they lost focus, especially Tori. Tori was focused. She was in there, she was winning, she was, grinding. And you could tell as the season went on, she started kind of like losing the fire, losing the competitive drive, So I think that ended up, costing her the game. But I mean, she probably knows it too. So that's probably why she snapped at Jordan.
And you can see kind of the opposite, like you can see the butterfly effect of that feud for both Michelle and Tori. They both probably came into the house with a good relationship with Johnny, where he probably doesn't probably reconcile with Rachel because they weren't that cool to coming into the house. They've talked about that, but being in the house together and kind of not having a lot of people backing them up because Rachel lost Era 1, Johnny was kind of backed into a corner, got them to be close. And then Johnny probably doesn't get close with Aviv because he doesn't know her. And if he's already in with Tori and Michelle and Jenny because they were cool, he's probably not looking for more alliances. But by feuding with him, you drove him into the hands of other women, the other angels. So you could have seen the season play out a lot more differently. Michelle probably has a way easier, even she still made the final, but it's probably way easier if she's just not causing as many problems. So
and I think they still make it. It's just the state of mind they're in is completely different. Going against Johnny, it's always a mind game because Johnny's also playing mind games with you on a daily. He's saying side comments. He's talking shit. He's making you feel ostracized. He's he's taking them out of their element more and more, and I think that affects their game later on.
Yeah. So that was an interesting snap. Yeah, I wish we would have seen more with that Tori and Jordan dynamic, because that, I feel like, I'm not talking romantically, but that story isn't completely written just yet. I'm not saying they're going to get back together, but what happened there is,
And I was
still some
expecting to
information
see Jordan's reaction. They didn't even show his reaction, and I was waiting for it. I was like, all right, let's see, what is Jordan going to say? How's he looking? What's his face? Nothing. I was like, it was a big miss.
Yeah, failed opportunity. And Jordan was kind of the, golden boy of this reunion, which is a little bit different from seasons past where, like, early on, he was kind of a dick. Nobody really liked him. And then when he started winning, people, I don't know. I wouldn't say I think there was a little bit of jealousy there. He wasn't, like, well liked. And now I think things have shifted to where people are voting him the GOAT. So, I guess, what do you think about Jordan's arc now as, like, this beloved challenger?
I was on the Jordan hate camp at first when he came out. I watched him on Real World. He was very volatile in the real world. Him and Naya's relationship was toxic at its core. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen, of two people that are so mentally deranged that they just keep pushing each other's button and they keep going and going and it's about to explode. It was horrible. But his arc on the challenge, I mean, he has grown a lot. You can tell, like, he's more mature now, which comes with age and time. But he's had a good arc. I mean, he started out, he did exactly what, who was it? Tony. He was talking about Tony earlier and telling Tony, you don't throw yourself down. But he's done it before. I mean, not the same exact circumstance, but he's done it to where he's like, you know what? I'm throwing myself in, I think, to take out Johnny.
He flipped he flipped the things. He flipped the skulls or whatever it was.
Yeah, he was like, I'm just going to do it all. And then I was like, all right, boss move, but you didn't finish it. And it's not a boss move if you didn't finish it. It's a henchman move, so. But he has won. He's put in the work. I mean, he's very athletic. Nobody can deny that. He's one of those few people that genuinely loves the challenge. I mean, I know a lot of them like the challenge, but there's a few that I say, like, genuinely, deeply to their core love the challenge, and he's definitely one of them. And it shows in how he loves playing the game and how he acts. So I think he had a good arc. I didn't like him at first, and I remember you saying that I'm gonna end up liking him. And I was like, nah, I don't see it. But I like him now. He's fine. He's cool. Is he my favorite? No, but he's cool.
Well, I think the only thing that I don't like about his arc is, especially for this season, I think saying he coasted is a little bit strong. He did go, he was just winning a lot. So it's not like it was easy to throw him in. But, I mean, they needed to throw him in. Like, especially towards the end, somebody needed to take that shot because, man, you're not beating him in a final. If he's not dragged by, like, an Anissa partner, like, you're not beating him in the fight. I mean, it's not her fault. She fucked up her something in her ankle.
Everything.
Something. Her whole ass leg got fucked up in that final. So I don't think it would have been as bad. Yeah, you're not beating him in the final. You need to throw him in. The fact that he was able to just charm everybody and just coast.
But you gotta think about it. Who would throw him in? Because the girls have the decision. So if it was a guy, he would have been thrown in. But the girls were the ones making the decision for the guys. So,
which, I mean, I don't want to keep shitting on this. That doesn't make sense, because it just doesn't make sense if there's separate guy and girl winners and they're not doing this thing where you partner guy and girl in the final. Mm-hmm. Why have the opposite sex determine your fate?
I agree. It
didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I was like, the girls get to choose the guys who go in. Oh, I guess it makes sense in the final. You want the strongest guys on your team if we're going to team up and get this money together. They didn't do that. They've done that in other finals where it makes sense. Guys choose the girls choose the guys. Here, it made no fucking sense.
Was that a real rule or an unwritten rule?
It was a real rule that towards the end, even though there was a guy and girl winner in the chamber, it was the opposite sex who had the final say. There was no more stalemates. It's like, for example, in the final elimination where Jordan chose Cara over Rachel, the winner there was Jenny. She had no say. Jordan made the ultimate choice. And I'm like, why? Does like actually makes more sense for the same sex to choose because you're going up against them directly.
You want to throw in the strongest person or who's not in your alliance, or so that means they changed the rules, or because initially when it was Tony and Avery, they had a stalemate. So
that was because during those eliminations you were choosing a guy and a girl to go in.
Okay.
So when they were still in eras and you had to choose pairs, I guess it made sense that you could stalemate. But once it was everyone for themselves and guy-girl days, they split that up. Yeah. Anyway, Jordan needed to go in. I think it's just the lesson that everybody learned. I'm not mad that he played a great game and slid by, but part of that, the growth is he can do that now. It's like Thanos getting the last stone, where it's just like, now I'm not my own worst enemy. I'm not a dick anymore. So it's gonna be harder for people to want to throw me in.
Do you think it tarnishes this win that he didn't go see an elimination, or does it?
No, I think it tarnishes other people's games. But it's like, you're right. Why would the women even care to throw him in? It doesn't affect their bread. So if I'm Kylan or Bananas or Derek, I have a reason to be salty. It's like, I never got a chance to throw him in and I don't want to go against him in the final.
Yeah.
And so I guess it doesn't tarnish his win. It doesn't look great on other people's games, but I can't even fault them. I don't know how they would have done it. So fuck production, man. They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. But it kind of leads to this. Yeah, it kind of leads to that GOAT conversation. That they do know we love. I love that they had people vote. The other challengers vote. Do I agree with their vote?
Yeah.
No.
I didn't agree with it. I was surprised actually with their vote. But from their point of view, I can see it.
So Jordan is the GOAT for the guys. They voted him over Bananas. Physically, I think there's no question. You got to go Jordan. Jordan is probably the most physically dominant dude, at least for the last decade. There's other guys probably previous you can, CT in his heyday. Landon is one of my favorites. I'm always going to shout him out. I think Landon was the pre-Jordan, like a physical beast.
I would go for Alton.
Alton in his prime too. But
Abe too. Back when
Abe
he
in
was
his
less
prime.
Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. So you said less crazy. I'm like, I can't remember a time when he wasn't crazy, but I'll take a word for it. But there's, it's not just a physical show.
No.
And to put him above Johnny and CT when CT has given us some of the craziest moments, Johnny has stirred the pot like an Iron Chef for 20 seasons. Man, there's other stuff that I just like matter to me as a fan of the show that those two bring that Jordan doesn't exactly bring. I don't know. What do you think?
I don't agree. I was actually shocked at first when I heard it was Jordan. But I guess it's kind of like that kind of debate of who's the greatest of all time in like basketball, for instance. And you're like, people like LeBron, Jordan, no, Russell, like Chamberlain. And are you like, what are your criteria for being the best? Is it championships? Now Johnny has 7, but he's not the dominating type of player like as Jordan is. Now people say, all right, what's your win ratio? Like every time you're in a final, are you winning? Are you losing? Is Johnny just has 7 because he's been in more finals? So I mean, there's a lot that it's a lot of things you could account for. But me personally, I think I would go for Johnny, not just because of the 7 championships, but what he's done for the challenge overall. And I mean, he carries a lot of seasons, just him being there and him bringing. And I'm pretty convinced that some of the seasons he just does it just to keep ratings up for the show, like the drama and all that other stuff. But I would give it to Johnny before I give it to Jordan, and I would give it to CT also before I give it to Jordan, just for overall.
I agree. Like if we're just going physical, yeah, I agree that Jordan is great, but you always say is like, I can tell this person has love for the challenge. Johnny's love for the challenge comes across in that he does things sometimes you can tell not to benefit his game, but to benefit the show. because those things, there's a lot of people in this season who did things to benefit their game that made the show shit. Jordan's one of them. Is like, I'm not gonna do anything that puts me out there. I'm just like, sometimes you're like, come on, Jordan, let's. Bananas.
He was boring. He was boring this season.
Yeah, which boring is wins, I guess. At least in this format. But Bananas sometimes it's like when he goes off, when at the bar and he goes off and calls out Tori, Naya, Olivia, Snake. Jordan is, sneaky. Is that good for his game? Hell no. Was that one of the highlights of the season where he's just like, I'm an agent of chaos? Yes. So he loves the game in that way that you have to give him props. CT don't give a shit. He doesn't give a shit about the game at all. But he's out for himself to do to have the most fun. But he's one of one, so it's a whole different story there. So I have my hesitations giving it to someone purely because of their physical attributes and how they can dominate the game.
But also, you got to see the voting pool. This is also a lot of them were newer players that were there, and haters maybe, or a lot of them were newer, and Jordan just came off a win. So I feel like that kind of played a factor into it. But I think Jordan's a phenomenal player, and I think he will be a challenge great if he does a few more seasons. Because usually when he does a season, he makes it to the final, he's gonna win. So I think he can be, but I don't think anybody loves the game more than Johnny. And then whenever I reference it, there's people that love the game. Johnny is number one. Like you said, he does the things that might be detriment to his game. He still does it for the sake of the challenge. He understands the challenge, but he also has this kind of he's like a savant in the game. Like he could find these little nuances. I remember there was this one game he played. It was like an elimination and nobody could figure it out. Like it was a weird elimination. I don't remember the exact elimination. I think they were were they balancing or something, running back and forth? They were doing something. And then Johnny had this weird technique that he picked up. And then he just started, and it worked out for him. So I see now, I'm like, man, this guy really loves this game. Like, I can tell he loves, some of the challenges, the little stupid, funny challenges they do. But Jordan loves it too. But I just think Johnny just genuinely loves the game more than Jordan. Because I think Jordan loves the competitive side of it, right? Mm-hmm. The challenges and winning. But Johnny loves every aspect of it. The drama, the mental aspect of it, the competition. And Jordan just likes the physical side.
But here's an interesting one where I don't know whether to call bullshit or not on Jordan. And it was his argument with Tony, where Tony said he was willing to stalemate because he thought it was good for his game. And Jordan yelled at him saying, you never throw yourself down, which he had to learn the hard way. Like I said, he threw himself down and Johnny sent him home. But the argument or calling bullshit on Jordan was he was one of the people on Era 3 who wanted to volunteer to be a target. Yeah. Now he told Tony, he's like, it's not the same thing, you idiot. Like just because you're a target doesn't mean you're going down. You can still go out and win the challenge and save yourself. I don't know. I'm not buying that argument. I know it's sort of different, but why volunteer to be a target? For what? To make the team feel better? I from the beginning, I hated volunteers. And I hated more so the people who would accept the volunteers. I'd be like, fuck you. You wanted to volunteer? No, you're going in just because you didn't. Not even because if you dislike one more than the other, keep them on their toes. It's like, oh, you were expecting to go in? No, I'm choosing a different target. I never liked the volunteer shit.
It was dumb. It was dumb. For whoever voted for it, it took away a lot from the game, from people just picking them, like you said, like keeping people on their toes. And I guess for them, it gave them more power. Like, okay, I'm going in. But I think overall for the game, it made it a lot boring. It made the season a lot more boring. Just, okay, I'll volunteer, I'll go.
So do you agree with Jordan's argument that it's not the same? It's not the same at all as voting yourself down versus, to me, it's like, yes, it's not the exact same, but it's in the same realm, and it's a little hypocritical of him.
I find it hard because I get what Jordan was trying to say, but at the end of the day, he also said the name of the game is to not go in elimination. And by putting himself as a target, you're putting yourself in a position to go to elimination. I think he said it to himself. The name of the game is not to go in elimination. He didn't go, but he could have went. And so it's like you put yourself in position to go. You just got lucky.
So like the people who were supposed to volunteer and ended up not volunteering, I mean, like that's good move. Did like good play.
Smart, yeah.
Yeah, smart. You just called Josh smart because when he saw CT got voted in, he's like, "Fuck that, I'm not volunteering."
Into that.
So Josh, let's just. I know this is pulling teeth for you, but a lot. He got called out a lot on this.
He did. It was awesome.
On this episode. His membership to the Vacation Alliance is under review, as Devin said. Setting aside your feelings for Josh, do you think he should be revoked from the Vacation Alliance after what went down at the reunion?
I think the Vacation Alliance needs to change their name to the Vacation Failliance because they were horrible. It was, if I was Josh, I wouldn't want to be in there. You asked if he should be revoked,
right? I agree with you.
He should be revoked from the Vacation Alliance because I don't know. He said it himself. He has a lot of he's friendship with Johnny and Rachel. He's not just friends with them. And that's fine, free to have friends. But if you're in an alliance, especially for the game, your goal should be to protect that alliance. And he wasn't doing that. I don't think he should be in Vacation Alliance.
Theo was going to vote Corey in anyway.
Yes, but it's the fight. I agree with them. It's the fight. Like, he even try. And I get it. He was going anyway, but he was like, all right.
Who did Jordan fight for this season?
I don't think he fought for anybody.
And he won. His ass won.
He didn't do anything. He really literally didn't do anything. It was annoying. He was like, just quiet.
They're much different players, but it's one of those things. It's like to get mad at a puppy for pissing on the carpet. It's just like it's a puppy. You expect it to. For these guys to get mad at Josh because he's just so friendly that he doesn't know what to do in any situation strategically. Man, he's just a puppy pissing on the carpet. Let it go.
But they know Josh by now.
I know.
We know Josh by now. This is nothing new. So I don't get why they're.
If that's the soldier you're sending out there to go fight for your alliance, bruh, this is not Sparta. You're going down. Like he's the guy. If you want him in your alliance, he's camaraderie. Like he's a good glue guy, but he's not the leader who's gonna save you.
He's like the water boy. He's not the quarterback.
Yeah,
he's the water boy. But I was surprised. Well, not surprised, but Casey wasn't on the show. But her interview, I know that hurt him when she was saying, that the thing about kicking Josh out, or she's like, every season I go on with him, and usually she doesn't badmouth Josh at all the other seasons, but this one she was just kind of saying like, it's every time I go, I feel like I have to like basically carry him. I think Josh is starting to see that. He doesn't really have that many friends.
Okay. Well, Casey is full of shit because the seasons where she's not on, Josh does better. So who's anchor? Like, what are you gonna blame Josh for ride or dies when you brought on your brother as your ride or die who couldn't do shit? That's probably more your fault. Josh didn't tell you bring your brother as your ride or die. And the season you made the finale and you tore your knee up, was that Josh's fault? Or how about the season where you won? Like, I don't know. Casey is whatever, full of shit. But my man Josh, he was out here putting in work with the ladies. We clowned him for getting cucked by Naya, but little did we know he dumped Naya to go after
who?
Flat pants Laurel.
That doesn't even sound right. He dumped Naya for that. It's so bad. That is a Josh move though. Very Josh like.
To hustle backwards to.
That was the clips. I was like, we didn't even see much, but you think they hooked up?
They definitely made out. They had some hot and heavy makeout sessions.
Laurel was over there smiling and shit. Still, Josh was looking embarrassed.
Josh was like, "Yo, I was drunk." Yeah, Yeah. Do you think he regrets it?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. Did you see Laurel's face? I bet him $100 that he was gonna kiss me. He's not gonna do it again. It's like, yo, shut the fuck up. She was insufferable that whole reunion.
Yo, Laurel was like was all over the place. Did you see when she was like, Jordan, you're an inspiration to everyone? I'm like, relax, bruh.
Cringe, man. I was like,
So
he's
cringe.
not gonna hook back up with you. Relax.
Yo, he's not gonna fuck you, Laurel. Move on to Josh. And then she was like, I'm sorry, I'm on the challenge. Like, I don't even know how to respond to somebody so fucking immature.
And nobody else did too. That's why a lot of people just ignored her ass. It was hilarious. Like nobody said anything. They just kept going on with the segment. It was nice.
Who was more insufferable, her or Amanda, for their comments and faces?
Oh God, I'm gonna go with Laurel just because Amanda was quiet a lot of the time. She added no real value at all to the reunion. She walked in with a double outfit. She looked great. Can't take that away.
At least she looked good.
Red's her color. She looked really good. But after that walk-in, she really added like no value, no nothing. She tried to cause drama, nothing. Definitely Laurel, because she was horrible. All the comments she made was so cringe. Like everything that came out of her mouth was just.
Laurel is she gives me like coward vibes because she'll make little comments to Cara. She'll make little comments about Michelle, like people who don't often stand up for themselves as good. There was these rumors that Emily had some choice words for her. She's backing down. She's not fucking with Emily. Emily's don't
my
give
girl, man.
She don't give two fucks. So yeah, man. She needs to just go. It's over
I'm
for
done
Laurel.
with Laurel. I'd be okay if she never came back in another season.
Same.
Wait, so since we're talking about Laurel, we skipped over this. We had a debate of the guys of who's the GOAT. What about the GOAT of women?
So where's Nora? She's not there.
No.
Jenny is really good.
Oh God, Jenny from the block.
Jenny, she's been on 3 challenges and won 2 of them.
I just can't. I can't see it.
Well, do you think it's Rachel? Everybody voted Rachel, and what's funny? I kind of turned on her a little bit in the season. I was impressed with her performance and her resilience, but towards the end,
was it the
I don't
Jordan
know.
deals?
It's not even the Jordan deals. It's just like she got very cocky and high on her horse. And I was just like, you're not doing as much winning as you should be doing. And she got saved by the karma points. I ain't mad at it, but also know your role.
Look at the options. And the options here are Tori, Jenny, Laurel, Cara, Rachel, and Amanda. No, just kidding. But out of these options, I mean, this season that went on, it kind of just made me reconsider a lot. Like, I would have had Laurel. I don't like Laurel, but I would have said Laurel and Cara Maria was who I would be thinking. And then Tori as well. But this season, they didn't really, I mean, they won daily missions or whatever, but they just weren't performing. They didn't have the same competitive drive that I used to see. So it's hard. It's harder now because I feel like for the women, there's no real clear answer. But I think Rachel was the safest option just because now she has 3 championships.
But so we said that the way Jordan won this season, at least I think we agree, doesn't really take away from his win. I think everybody's like, Rachel has 3 now, but she got this 3rd one with the karma points, which I think we all think is bullshit. Does it take a little bit away from her win from her championship?
I want to say yes, but I'm saying no because she did fight her way. Like, we were very impressed with her at the beginning and the middle where she had her back to the wall and Army Era of One. She was hanging there, she was fighting, she won some dailies. So that's the only reason why I wouldn't take it away from her. I do think karma points is still bullshit, but I do think she deserves to win overall. She didn't perform the best in the final.
Yeah, if I had to vote from these candidates, like, I don't know, I think my takes a little. I'm fine with Rachel getting, like, I feel like it's more of like rather than the GOAT, it's like more of an MVP for this season. In a season where a lot of the people who we would have said are probably GOAT contenders didn't have a good season.
Yeah.
Laurel didn't have a good season. Carl Carl.
Oh,
Carl had a great, phenomenal season. Cara had a mid-season. She made it pretty far, but like she didn't really do much. And Tori was having a great season and just shit the bed in the final, and that's got to say something. Jenny won eliminations. She won challenges. She won the whole goddamn thing.
She was solid. She was solid.
I guess we don't have enough history of seeing it. I'm saying 2 out of 3. It's kind of a good win ratio. To be honest, if we were going in season 41 and I needed a team member, I'd probably choose Emily. Emily looked good and she just got this bullshit elimination with Tina on the nails.
I was gonna say, out of all the women, Emily will always be my top choice because I've seen her since the real world and she's always been competitive. Like playing with guys, training. Like she has that drive, and I would have loved to see her in more of these challenges. Like she hasn't done too many of them. I think maybe 3, 4. Sometimes one of the times she was with Ty or X or what else horrible. But
she made it far they were never gonna win because he was going up against CT and Bananas in that. But they made it to the final, and she did win one, I believe, in a partnership with Paula. I think, but I think that's the big beef with Laurel this season. It's just like she's not in that elimination. If she's not a target, or like if Laurel doesn't throw that challenge. So it's like it wasn't even her gameplay that really got her sent home. It was like somebody else's bullshit and then a bullshit nail challenge, which we all fucking hated when we saw it. Yeah. It's just like whatever. I mean, good for Tina. She figured out a trick to like do all of the nails, but that was some bullshit. After we saw something so cool with Anissa and Jenny and the ball and the pegs, and it's just like, you're giving us nails? Congratulations, challenge. You got Emily and CT sent home. You fucking idiots.
It was horrible. This was the season this is probably the best assembled cast of females I think they've ever assembled. This would have been an amazing competition if they had better games, better eliminations, way better eliminations, better competitions. Like, this was the season where we could see the women go all out. Like, I wanted to know who's the best out of these women, who's the better competitor, who's the strongest one, fastest. I don't care about swimming. I don't care who's the best swimmer. I don't care about none of that. I wanted to see who's the best female challenger, and I think they wanted to see it too. I just don't think they had the right stage to showcase it. And I think Emily, Laurel, Jenny, Cara, Tori, I mean, that's a stacked lineup. I mean, that would have been a great eliminations. Better final if they had running, physical competitions against each other. We missed out. We were robbed. And I get mad thinking about it.
I just think about like the great elimination at the end with Jenny and Aviv with the ball and the fence. It was wasted because like Aviv was never going to win that. Sorry. But put that earlier in the season. How hard is it to have that one? And then CT beats Nehemiah. I love Nehemiah, but CT survives that one and we get to see him longer. And then Emily beats Tina in that elimination. We get to see her. I'm just like, what could have been? So I'm putting Emily up there. Give her a good goddamn partner again for another one. Put her on Rivals and give her a good partner.
Yeah, I agree.
Although her rival is probably Laurel, so
that'd be too stacked. I don't think they would do that.
Yeah.
I don't think Laurel's coming back on another show. I don't see it.
I mean, they had this whole back and forth. Like, well, they keep calling me, and I tell them no, and then sometimes I say yes, and it's just like. Everybody was like stroking their ego with that shit where Jordan's like, I get called every season.
Jordan started it though. Jordan is talking his shit to the vets.
He let the ego slip a few times, and I wish it would have actually been relevant to the challenge because the times it happened, it was like not relevant to the challenge and was good for him. Yeah. I need that ego to come out during the challenge. So, like on War of the Worlds or, Challenge Worldwide, whatever, when he started making deals without telling Kaz, his partner, and he's just like, don't worry about it. I'm making deals and some shit. That's where
Kaz was a good competitor too.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else she was good at. Anyway, let's move on. I mean, we got to talk about Banana Man. He was involved in some beefs. He had his heart broken, bro. And he's only just started. I mean, who would have? He was dating a freaking plastic doll. I guess that's what he likes. Like,
He
A
has a
quiet
type.
plastic doll.
He has a type.
Boraya.
Or,
Yeah. I mean, this thing where Bananas was being accused of coming between a relationship between Devin and Michelle, and he whips out a smoking gun saying, "Yo, Devin, you and Tori did the same thing to me with Mariah. You said she was just using me for game, and we ended up having a year-long relationship, whatever it was. You sabotaged me, and I just threw the favor back. What do you think?"
they fuck with that man's relationship so bad, and then you can tell as they were trying to explain it, it wasn't making no type of sense at all. But I think they just mad because he's right, and they had no good reason.
Michelle said it best, whereas like in this game, sometimes you do have to pull a snake move to get by. But if somebody calls you out on it, just it is what it is. Don't deny it. And that's the thing. She denies it all the time, and Devin and Tori denying that they did that, or that they only did it for a little bit, but then they had a change of heart.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Full of shit, bro. Full of shit. Y'all got caught in a snake move. Just shed the skin. Just play the role. So that I can't say shit about what Johnny said about the relationship now, because they played that game first. So
And I don't even think it was that bad, honestly. I think they were just Devin being a crybaby and blowing things out of proportion.
and Michelle being
Oh,
Michelle.
too. Yeah, yeah. She just has that look of that girl that's gonna whine and complain, like that Karen type face. It's just, I like her, but well, I don't like her, but
I mean,
I like
damn,
certain
yo,
parts of
she's good at the game. Like, if it just wasn't for this like snakish attitude where it's just like own your moves, own your gameplay. If it wasn't this like whiny crybaby shit, I'd definitely root for her, because if it was anybody else and how she got screwed out of money in the finale by the karma points, I probably would have felt bad for her. But in her case, I was just like, dude, you got shit karma points because you had to pull all these snake moves to survive in the game, all because you started this beef with Devin and Bananas that took over the house.
Yep.
So that's you lost yourself what, $50,000 because of that.
But yeah, probably 30. I think it's like 30 or 20.
I think it was like 25 to 75 between, and then 400 for first, something like. Anyway, anything else that came from Michelle called CT overrated? All right, that was stupid.
We're just gonna let that one. She's a little.
Ooh, Jordan getting called out for saying Arrow One was just happy to be there to be called back on TV. That was what sparked the "I get called every season" conversation.
Yeah.
That was fucked up.
You think it was directed towards Rachel?
Yeah, because he didn't he said all of them, right? He didn't call out one particular person. I think it was towards Rachel.
She did speak up. I mean, Brad also and Derek did too, but she did have a longer, and she didn't reference it directly. She said, as season 40, they get the call. I came on, and I'm like, so what if it has to do with their career? So what? I think Jordan also doing something similar to that too. So
I mean, does Jordan become a race car driver if he's not on TV?
I don't think so. I don't see it.
Like that's some shit. It's just like any other sport. I think you start young and you work your way up, and he just went straight to whatever. That's the way of the world. Who cares if Rachel's just coming back on the challenge to promote her fitness business? That's what everybody does in reality TV. They get big and then they start side hustles.
Yeah.
I mean, at least Era 1 is still entertaining. Like, I still like to see Derek. I still like to see Darrell. I still like to see Tina. They're still entertaining. Not like, it doesn't matter.
They still have personality. That's the thing with them. They might be old, but they still have personality. Like, even Tina, she's talking her shit. She's yelling and causing a little bit of drama, stir here, there. Even though they're older, they still have personality. They still have that kind of reality TV show, mindset where they're keeping us intrigued. A lot of these new people, they're boring, and it's hard to watch, and not hard to watch, it's just boring, and nothing's really going on. So yeah, if they want to launch their career, let them do it. That's the whole point of this stuff, is to come on the show, do the show, but then also to elevate yourself, make money.
That's the way of the world. So a few quick hitters. Hot take on Corey. I'm over it. I'm not rooting for him anymore. And here's why. His seasons are all the same. He doesn't know how to do alliances. He doesn't know how to do gameplay.
Zero affinity for it. It's horrible. Sad.
Terrible. And so, like, the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same thing, expecting different results. Guess what? I'm not expecting anything from him ever. He's going to be another one who's just...
But Leroy.
He's in the Leroy Shadowland. Who else are some, like, long-time players who don't win shit?
Anissa.
Those...
Anissa.
Nah, she won our hearts and minds.
No.
And once upon a time, all right, moving on. So, Tony time. Yo, one thing I liked about Tony's appearance, he got his revenge on Avery. Avery was talking a lot of shit about him being an asshole when he got eliminated. And, you know, fair point. You guys stalemated. To me, it was a stupid move by both of them. One of them needed just to be like, yo, it's not worth it going down to protect somebody else. So it was a dumb move by both of them, but he ended up being the villain. Yo, when his appearance on the reunion, he didn't give no fucks. He's like, nah, fuck y'all. It wasn't good. It was good for my game. I'm stupid.
He owned it, so not mad at that.
I think that's it. I'm sure we're missing something else, but is it? Wait, they cleared the budget for one appearance. Yeah. But they could only afford like 5 minutes.
Yo, not even. I would say he was there for like 45 seconds. Like after they figured out his phone, he was there for tech support. He only joined for tech support.
He was embarrassed. Like, I thought I was calling Apple Care, and I accidentally called in the challenge. Yeah,
that was funny.
Shouts to John A.
Time, he brought a lot of humor for us.
Yeah. I hope he got the bag for those 45 seconds. Speaking of John A., what do you think is going on with her? She was just like, I'm going through some shit.
No, I was asking Nora. I was like, maybe she was going through a divorce. I mean, not wishing it on her, but I'm like,
there's whispers. There's whispers out there of that there was some issues.
Didn't somebody start something with her and MJ? I feel like.
Yeah, and I never actually believed it. I think it was Beth who was talking shit. And I never actually believed it, but now you see there's whispers that there's issues. So maybe where there was smoke, there was fire.
Maybe.
You know, like we always say, we wanted to smoke, so let's bring the fire. And Beth knows how to bring. So, but with MJ, come on, John A. I expect more.
What's wrong with MJ? Oh, he had me dying that season. He was just yelling that.
I think that's it. I don't got anything else except for one thing. I have a little bit of a surprise to share. Folks, Victor does not know what's going to pop up here, but to celebrate
jump scare
this momentous occasion of finishing the challenge, we got to do points. So, we've been slacking a little bit on our fantasy league, mostly because it all felt like a lost cause. Raquel was way out ahead, but you know what? We gotta have some finality here. So I went back. We were behind about 5 episodes technically, I think, because the finale was 2, but really 4 episodes of points. I'll be honest, I didn't do Matches and Mayhem points. I didn't go through to see how many people were crying and how many people. There wasn't a lot of hookups. There was a lot of kids, but I don't think it would have made a lot of difference in the standings here.
Nora won, didn't she?
She won because she didn't have to pay attention to this for the last for the last 10 episodes since she lost her last player. But let's take a look. So, in 4th place is Nora, who ended up with a respectable 13 points. Loosely using the word respectable.
Yeah.
In 3rd place,
me,
Victor with 53 points.
Okay.
And then in 1st place, you know, the person that everybody pretty much expected to win since you've been following this is me.
What? Because you did the points.
Points.
Get the fuck out of here.
No.
How the fuck did you win?
No. The comeback is real. Let me break it down for y'all on how I ended up being the champion of the first challenge. Matches and Mayhem's fantasy league.
Yes, let's
so
use this.
here's what happened. Raquel was up like 40 points going to the finale. But what I always knew was get to the finale because that's where the big points were. We had 25 points for first place, 15 points for second place, and then 5 points for third place.
Oh,
so
boy and a girl.
For guys and girls. And here's the thing. Respectfully, you won both third place. Michelle and Bananas got third place, and they were on your team. So it got you an extra 10 points at the end. So, what could have been. Here's what happened. I went into the final with 4 people.
Damn, yeah.
Derek, the dark horse of the season, who was my last guy pick, got a second place and got 15 points.
That's an impressive for a last pick.
For a last round pick, getting 15 points, phenomenal. Now, here's the thing. Mid-season, I traded Jordan away for 2 players. Casey, who went home like the next week, and Tori, who got 0 points in the finale for me. I gifted Raquel first place. So with those 25 points, you would have thought it's over with.
Yeah.
Except the karma points were beautiful because it pushed my girl Rachel to first place. And guess who had 2 first place finishers? Damn. 50 points worth. Jenny, Rachel were on my squad. Plus Derek. That was a 65-point finale for me. And I was behind like 40 points by the end. Get to the final with as many players as you can because you never know who's going to win. I just want to thank everybody out there for I never gave up on myself. Victor can't even stand it. He's like, fuck this. I'd like to thank TJ. Points. I like to thank my wife, Raquel, for being such a loser.
Yo, that was a crazy comeback, though. All right.
Just make it to the end. So
that tie, that's crazy. That worked out perfect.
That tie, the karma points boosting her up to first place. Clutch. That's it. That's our wrap on season 40. I feel 40 years old now after watching it, but no rest for the wicked because next week we get All-Stars 5.
Ooh, I'm excited for that. My boy Turbo's back.
Turbo. Until next time, bye.
Lo que mejor